Right. Good morning, everyone. Hope you can hear me well. I'm sorry for this small delay, but as I was saying, there was an F6S meeting before, so the room was only available for us at precisely 10 a.m. Central Europe time. So thank you so much for all of those who were already sending me messages saying that they were not able to enter the room. Thank you so much for joining us today. As we have today our final pitch presentation of our 11 teams that made it until the end of this MSEC online contest, Business Ideas for a Smarter, Sustainable and More Secure Cities. So we have two Smart City challenges. These 11 teams have tried during the week with workshops, with meetings with their MSEC mentors, and with also a session with the city council representatives to understand how to better address the smart city challenge that they have applied for, and then refine their business idea, not only to address the challenge, but also to try to think about a way how to integrate the MSEC solution that has been developed in the scope of the MSEC project for the past 3 years in their business idea. So adding a security and privacy of data component to that business idea. So I wanted to start with some technical recommendations, although all of you for the past 2 years have been having online meetings, so for sure all of you know these recommendations. So I kindly ask you to rename yourself to first, last name, and the entity you represent. It will be easier for our jury members particularly to identify you when you are doing your pitch presentation. Please, to the others who are not presenting their pitches, be muted during the pitch presentation so that everything runs smoothly. And then particularly for our jury members, so our teams will do a pitch in 5 minutes, and then you have time to ask any question that you want to clarify any point of their presentation. So please unmute yourself and freely ask your question. We will also take a group picture along the way of today's speech presentation. So I kindly ask all of you who want to show to turn on your cameras for those who do not want to show in the picture, because it will be disseminated in our social media and also in our website, to leave your video turned off. This is also a public session, so the only one which is public in the scope of this online contest. So it is being recorded and will be publicly disseminated in MSEC's YouTube channel and also in our website and social media. And here is the agenda. So I will ask my colleagues and project coordinators to do some very short opening remarks. Then I will present our jury members and also review the evaluation criteria for today's presentations. Then we have 7 presentations for the Santander Challenge for our team. So as I was saying, we had 13 teams running in the contest, but 2 of them decided to drop out because they believed that their business solution was not correctly addressing the challenge. So for the Santander Challenge, instead of 9, we currently have 7 teams running for the award, let's say, and pitching today with a short break of 5 minutes between them. And after another 5 minutes break, we have the presentation of our 4 teams for the Fujisawa challenge. Then I will kindly ask our jury members to join me in a separate meeting while the others take a short break, and there we will refine their evaluation and decide the top 3 winners per challenge. So 3 winners for the Fujisawa and 3 winners for this Santander challenge cities. And then we all come back at the end, so at 10 to 1 p.m. Central Europe time to hear who are the awarded teams. So starting with the opening remarks, I already provided my welcome, but I wanted to give you a short overview of the project for those who are here, but are neither part of our jury members, our MSEC mentors, or even our team, so are new to the project and want to know why we are doing this online contest. So we are a collaborative R&D project. It's a collaboration between EU countries and entities in Japan. In total, we are a consortium of 12 entities, which includes SMEs, universities, research institutes, and smart cities. And this is a problem that we try to address, the fact that many data sources in the IoT and smart city domain contain sensitive information that we want to keep to ourselves. And this raises issues in terms of privacy and data protection. For instance, with the amount of cyber attacks to city cameras or sensors, to mobile apps that we currently use nowadays, to the company servers, because everyone uses internet, particularly in hyper-connected smart cities. So security and privacy concerns are a hot topic nowadays. And this is why the MSEC researchers have been for the past 3 years trying to develop a framework that provides that security and integrity of data traffic in these very hyper-connected smart cities, while at the same time trying to address some challenges that cities have. And how have they been experimenting the MSEC framework? By implementing them in 5 pilots, either in Santander, in Fujisawa, or in both of them. They have been implementing 5 pilots to test, validate, and implement the feasibility of the MSEC framework for the security and privacy of the data that is exchanged every day between us. And this is our MSEC online contest. So you can see here the kickoff session on Monday. Everyone was excited by then, so let's hope that the excitement continues until today. The main goal of this contest is to present a relevant and original business idea. So it can be based on software or hardware solution or both, that addresses one of the city challenges of Fujisawa or Santander, and at the same time considers the integration of the MSEC framework that was developed by our researchers. This was a 5-day online contest. It started on Monday with the kickoff meeting and the presentation of the challenges by our city council representatives. Then there was a workshop the next day on the business basics. So to support with our teams with the business model canvas and the pitch presentation. And finally, our teams were paired up with some very awesome MSEC mentors that supported them during the week to refine their business ideas and being able to sit here before all of us today presenting their business case. So this is the public presentation today. I had here 13 teams, but it will be only 11. So welcome everyone and thank you so much for being here. And I wish the best of luck for all our 11 teams. And these are the challenges for those of you who were not aware. So the challenge for the Santander city was making the city a better place for the elderly. So addressing challenges such as isolation, poor social relations, lack of physical activity, urban mobility difficulties, so you name it, addressing challenges related with the amount of elderly population that is living in smart cities. And then, on the contrary, the Fujisawa challenge was more focused on road administration efficiency, so providing ways on how to make better road administration, road repair, so efficient ideas for maintenance and repairing of roads, but also of other public services associated with roads, such as sewers, playgrounds, playground equipment, so etc. And now I kindly ask Vanessa Clemente Nunes from Worldline. She is the European coordinator of MSEC to provide some opening remarks.
Thank you, Nadine, and welcome everybody. First of all, thank you very much for your participation. It's a really pleasure to have you, all of you here to present ideas that can address the SMART challenge presented already by Nadine. I had also had the pleasure to be a mentor of 2 teams. So I'm looking also forward for the other teams to present their idea. As you know, it has been really hard work for the consortium during more than 2 years, almost. We are finalizing the project this month. So we have been focalized on the past 3 years of building a framework that can address some of the current challenges in terms of data integrity, privacy, and protection. So it's good that we can see all of your ideas and we can see how MSEC can help to your solutions, to your concepts, to provide this security audit. So thank you very much for all of you.
Thank you so much, Vanessa. And now I will give the floor to Keiko Doguchi. So Keiko is from NTTE in Japan, and she's our Japanese coordinator of the MSEC project.
Hello, thank you, Nadine. Can you hear me? Okay, so but my video is not working, unfortunately. So I am Keiko Doguchi from NTT East. We are the coordinator on Japan side. Thank you very much for participating in this online contest of MSEC. For the overview, Vanessa already told, so I have the same message from you guys. So, but I really appreciate for the participation, and I'm very excited to hear the your presentations. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Keiko and Vanessa. And now for a short overview of our jury members and also revising the evaluation criteria before we deep dive in the pitch presentations. So this is just to let you know that, as you know, the online contest run this week, so between 6 and 10 September, which is today. And then today, our jury members will select the top 3 winners per challenge. And then starting next week, our challenge winners will be contacted for receiving, let's say, their prizes, which I will mention further down the road today. Then regarding the evaluation criteria, as you know, you will be evaluated in 5 different criteria, all of them with the same weight, so all of them relevant. The first one is innovation, so how creative or innovative is your business idea? The second one is value, so how relevant is your business idea for solving that particular smart city challenge that you have applied for, so either Santander or Fujisawa. Then you have functionality and scalability, so can your business idea be implemented and scale as a real business solution? And then we have the link to MSEC. So to what extent does your business idea consider the use and the integration of the MSEC platform? So as you know, these are all early stage ideas, or we were aiming for it, although some of your ideas are at a more mature level. So it is not expected for you to have already implemented or implement in the near future the solution, but you need to consider how you are going to implement this solution in your business idea for the purpose of the presentation. And then finally, the pitch. So did you present a solid and persuasive pitch in English to our jury members and made them believe that all the above criteria were worth 5 score. So this is the evaluation criteria revised. So keep this in mind as you have your pitch presentation. And here are our jury members for the Santander Challenge. So we have Mr. José Luis Camus, is the General Director for Innovation and Contracting from the Santander City Council, and you have met them, at least our teams, at this Monday session. He was the one presenting the Santander Challenge. Then we have Mr. Akira Tsuge, researcher at Keio University in Japan, and Mr. Pedro Roseiro, who is an expert in such topics as smart cities and ICT, and you name it. So he is here with us today as executive board member of TIS.pt, which is the Portuguese National ICT Cluster. So I kindly ask Mr. José to turn on your camera and shortly present yourself.
Okay.
Good morning.
Hello. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to be a jury member of this project. It's a pleasure to be here, and thank you so much also to all the teams that participate in this initiative. I hope that all of you have a good look. Anything more? Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mr. José. And now, Mr. Akira, if you want to give a couple of words about or to the teams. You just need to unmute yourself.
Is this my turn?
Yes.
Okay, sorry. My name is Akira Tsuge from Keio University in Japan. And my area is wireless sensor network system for various IoT application service. And recently I am joining several projects, IoT sensing for preventing infection of COVID-19 or something like that. So I'm very happy to join here. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Akira. And then we have Mr. Pedro. Please present yourself.
Hi, good morning. It's always a pleasure to be part of these projects, evaluating new ideas, new challenges also for the cities. As Nadine said, I'm currently one of the executive board members of the Portuguese ICT cluster. So what we do is trying to find new ideas, develop them, work together with companies and universities. But in this particular area, smart cities, I've been working in these topics for more than 30 years now. So I've been IT manager for the municipality of Aveiro for over 20 years. And then strategic consultant to many municipalities in Portugal. So it's a topic that, in fact, I'm quite aware of. I hope that with some comments and questions, I can also help you improving your solutions.
Thank you so much for your presentation. And now As you can see for the Fujisawa Challenge, Pedro is also our external expert. So he will be evaluating you on both challenges. But with us today, particularly for the Fujisawa challenges, we also have Mr. Tatsuo Fukuda. So you have already met him also on our Monday session. He was presenting the Fujisawa Smart City Challenge. He is the Director for General Affairs Department, Administrative Reform and Internal Control Promotion Office of the Fujisawa City Council. And then we also have Mr. Kenji Tei. He is Associate Professor at the Waseda University in Japan. So I will kindly ask Mr. Tatsuo Fukuda to share a couple of words with the teams.
Hi.
Good afternoon.
Okay. Good morning. Good afternoon. I'm Tatsuo Fukuda. I'm working in the Administrative Reform and Internal Control Promotion Office of Fujisawa City. I worked in the Information System Division until this March. I'm honored to be here. I'm looking forward to listening to your presentation. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Tatsuo. And now for Mr. Kenji Tei, you can turn on your camera and say a couple of words.
Hey, hello guys. So my name is Kenji Tei. I'm associate professor in Waseda University, Japan. So and also I'm also a member of the MSEC project. I'm involved in this project as a technical partner. So I'm mainly working on software engineering side. So I hope you enjoy this week for the MSEC online contest, and I'm looking forward to seeing your final outcomes.
Thank you so much, Mr. Tatsuo, Mr. Kenji, and Mr. Pedro for also being the jury members of the Fujisawa Challenge. And now it's the time for the group photo. So everyone who wants to join, please turn on your cameras and smile. My colleague Ines will say when we can all smile for the camera, as we seem happy before the award-winning ceremony. So let's all smile. So Ines, just say if when you're ready.
Okay, everyone. So let's just smile. Nadine, could you stop sharing for a moment?
Yes.
Okay, so now we have everyone on the screen.
Don't forget you, Ines.
No, never. I'm trying to turn on my camera. It's not working. Just wait a second. Oh, okay.
Yes, yes, you're here.
So let's go. 1, 2, 3. Just another one. Okay, so it's done. We can proceed.
Great. Thank you so much, Ines, and all of you who are going to be part of our public dissemination forever. Okay, and now we kickstart with the pitch presentations for the Santander Challenge. And I am just going to briefly present to you our first 4 teams. So we start with Rudy and Cyrus Najati, who is founder and CEO of the Rudy company. Then we go to the M5 Solutions with Antonio Pellegrina, which is also the CEO of M5 Solutions. Then we have Endima with Haris Amin, head of product of Endima. And then let me just pull this aside. We have Dimanshio. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing the name, with Alex Norta, who is the co-founder of this particular company. So welcome, the four of you. Thank you so much for taking part of the MSEC online contest and applying to the Santander Challenge. We will kickstart with Rudy. So there's more or less 5 minutes for you to pitch your business solution, and then we open the floor to Q&A. So Cyrus, you can share your screen. Is Cyrus here?
Hello, I represent Rari with Cyrus. I think he's joining. He'll be here just in 1-2 minutes.
Okay, Tatiana. So should we perhaps ask the next speaker and then you go after?
Well, it's also possible, yes.
So no problem. So is Antonio Pellegrina here from M5 Solutions? No, so perhaps still. But I know that we have Harris here, right, from Indime. So you don't mind being the first one, Harris, so kick-starting the pitch presentation?
I'll be happy to do that. I'll be happy to start the kickoff.
Great, great. So then you will be already set and just enjoy the remaining presentation. So please share your screen.
Yeah, let me share my screen first. So you should see my screen.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
If everyone is ready, then I can start.
Yes, start whenever you want.
Okay, thank you everyone to be here today. We are Endima. We are building a software that takes care of elderly people. So here in the left-hand side, you can see Barbara, 75 years old, lives alone in home and waiting for her family members to visit her once in a month. And in the right-hand side, you can see Benita, 80 years old, lives in an elderly care center, and the caregivers cannot be all the time by her side. So both of them are facing the same problem of loneliness, health unconsciousness, and lack of proper care. This brings us to the visions of helping the elderly to live better while being more resource efficient. And this visions is related to the 3 different sustainable development goals by UN, namely good health and well-being, quality education, and responsible consumptions and productions. Our solution will be an app that helps the elderly to remain fit and healthy while facilitating the behaviors that helps the environment, that is use water or energy more mindfully. And the benefit from our solution will be the health and hygiene, analytical caring, and the useful or mindful use of water and electricity will also save cost and carbon dioxide. The underlying concept behind our solution will be like that. We will start by installing some IoT devices like sensors, smart meters, or wearables that will collect the health and utilities data and send it to the IoT gateway. Then processing the utilities data like water or energy consumption based on the baseline consumptions. It will notify the user if he should take more shower or watch less television, do some outdoor activities like sporting, physical exercise, or something like that. And on the other hand, based on the processing of health data like heart rate, sleep tracking, ECG monitoring, or blood pressure, our app will tell user if he should take rest or visit a doctor or sleep more. And the applicability to Santander City, like Santander City has a population of 180,000 with 25% elder people, and it has the service-based economy. And the most importantly, the municipality has the willingness to help elderly to live better, and also it has a focus on innovation and knowledge. And we also looked to the potentiality to scale it to other cities in Spain. Spain has a population of 47 million. Of this, 20% are above 65 years old. And Spain is the first European country to install 100% smart meter. And thirdly, as our solution requires to install IoT devices, we found that IoT devices market size to expand at an annual growth rate of 19%. And how the MSEC framework can be integrated to our solutions, we discovered that 3 different components can be implemented within our solution in different layers to ensure the security. First, in the left-hand side, you can see intrusion detection systems that can protect IoT devices from potential cyber attacks. And second, crypto companion database to encrypt and secure data storage. And thirdly, the security manager that will help our application to ensure end-to-end security and privacy. And we also did a competitors analysis, and we found several competitors in the market who are mainly focusing on providing health tips, recording health data, and visualize and monitor those. While our USP will be the balancing activities in between outdoor and indoor activities, like watching television with reading newspaper or doing some outdoor activities, doing some physical exercise. And the second USP will be the taking consideration of the environment aspect as well, because most of the time maybe elderly doesn't know that their activities also affect to some extent the environmental factor as well. So within our solution, we'll make sure to use the water and electricity more mindfully. So within our solutions, Barbara or Benita will be happy, and to make them happy, here is the team: Florian Struck, our head of operations, myself, head of product, and Lucy, our head of technology, and Joel Christoph, our head of research. Thanks for your attention, and I am looking forward to any of your questions.
Thank you so much, Harry. And now I open the floor to our jury members if you want to ask any question or clarification.
Aside from one question, aside from collecting the spend on water and energy, what kind of information, what kind of activities do you do with the elders? Only showing their consumptions?
Well, we'll collect the utilities data. So, for example, the for water consumptions and also the electricity consumptions. And to collect those data, we'll use several devices like sensors, and it will be like several kinds of, like, for example, the shower, to understand the if he's taking the shower or not, we have to install some sort of sensors in the showering point, and also like to install some IoT devices to the television if he's watching the television more or less and not doing the outdoor activities properly. So just the way we'll collect the data, like there will be several IoT devices installed at the home level. And then based on this data, like the consumption data, we'll compare those data with monthly baseline consumptions, like how it should be look like analyzing the historical data, the consumptions pattern, and then we'll recommend that this is the data of yourselves, and this should be like more or less based on compared to your users, current users.
Hello, I have a couple of questions, short questions about the project, very interesting project. But I have a couple of questions about how is the relation between the data that you collected and the isolation and the lack of physical activity that we need, that we is in the idea that we presented the other day. And the second question is about the user app. Are these data recollected and going to finally to this user app? How friendly is this user app? Because it's one of the things that we say that is very important for the project is the friendly of the application on the project that we develop in order that is going to be used by aged people.
Yeah, thanks for your questions. First, like one solutions we seen in the first day of the contest, and the way we differentiate ourselves, like also taking consideration the energy consumptions, not only the health data or the personalized data like the pressure or the temperature or ECG monitoring, but also like to connect our solution with some kind of conjunctions, like to understand if he's really doing some activities or not, or how is his or her water consumption is. So that's the way we differentiate from the existing solutions and also the solution you presented first. And the second question is like how it will be applicable to the users level. That's the things we're now more focusing on to make it more user friendly, and so that the user can easily embrace our solutions, like to wear some sensors or and this connects to our visions, like to provide qualityful educations, because to implement a new innovations to the users level, it's also necessary to educate the people, or to make sure to learn how to use the new innovative things. So this is also part of our vision, and we will do that within like several key partners, like health insurance or the city councilors, or even having some partnership with the care centers. Then it will like easy to distribute our solution and make it understandable to the user.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much. So that was all for Q&A for Endima. Thank you so much, Harris, for your presentation, and best of luck for you. And now I think that we have Cyrus already here in the call. So Cyrus, please, if you want to share your screen and start your presentation.
Sorry, can you see my screen now?
Yes, we can.
Okay.
And the presentation as well.
Okay, great. So hello, my name is Cyrus. I'm here with Tatiana to present Ruddy. Wait, maybe I would get rid of this. So now I think it's more clear. Okay, so I'm here to present Ruddy. So the rise of wellness culture. Today, consumers pay close attention to their diet, fitness, and health. And so what we want to do with Ruddy, by using AI, we want to help consumers develop a healthy and a well-balanced diet based on their daily physical activities, location, goal, and lifestyle. So the first version of the app is already available in Brussels, and we are operational. So how it works is when you open the app, you will see all the restaurants in your area. With the filter, you can choose your diet or the calories that you want to consume. So for example, let's say you choose vegan and you want to consume 700 calories. So the app will look in all the restaurants in your area and will find the meal that correspond to the vegan meal and to the 700 calories. You can compare two dishes side by side to make sure which one better fits your diet. You can check the calories, the protein, and the carbs of each dish to optimize your choice. And of course, every time you order something through the app, we register this in your health journal so that on a daily, weekly, and a monthly basis, you can see how many calories you're consuming, how many calories you're burning, and so on. So The customers that we have for this business are B2B and B2C. B2B are restaurants. The reason why is because a lot of people are trying to eat healthy. Restaurants can use this as a new way to generate more revenue. And the B2C, these are all the people who trying to eat healthier, or they have a specific type of allergies or a diet, like they eat only halal or vegan. So to give you, for example, an example, like elderly people, because of their historical and current health, they need to follow a specific diet in order to stay healthier. So what we want to do, we want to create a data hub where we collect data from our partners. These are licensed nutritionists, doctors, public health agencies, where we collect all these valuable data about the consumer health. We bring it all together and we use AI to develop this really personalized and healthy meal plan on an individual basis. So basically the cost to basically bring this project to the next level will be mostly focused on development in IT, development around AI, around mobile app, and around, of course, implementing MSEC framework. But of course, we will also need some funds from the government and also from VCs to make sure that we market this and we have our sales team to push this to the market. So the way that we're going to make money off of it, we have the basic model that we are using already in Brussels. So every time you use the app to order something through the app, the restaurant gives us a 10% commission based on the purchasing price. And in the next version of the app, we want to create an upgraded subscription plan where you pay us on a yearly basis. And we will give you even more value, and we'll make sure that your meal plan is even better personalized. So of course, when it comes to security and privacy, we want to use the MSEC framework. We want to use the blockchain technology in order to make sure that the security of our, the identity of our consumers is secure, and that the restaurants are providing us valuable data and they have high quality. And we want to use the MSEC TNRM to make sure that our process is well evaluated, that we are adding, that is effective, and that we are adding value to all parties. And this value is stayed consistent. And of course, to make sure that our data on marketplace, the data on our marketplace is secure, authenticated, and falsified, we want to use the MSEC Security Manager. So that's actually our presentation, and I'm ready to answer any question that you might have.
Thank you so much, Cyrus. So I now open the floor to our jury members to ask any questions to Cyrus and Rudy.
No, this is Akira. I have a question. Thank you for your presentation. I understand that you are using the MSEC platform. I'd like to ask you, what is your technical point, especially in application layer? I think you are using the smartphone application. So something like you have some technology point. So please explain about this.
So basically right now, the technology that we have is on its, let's say, first version. And what we do, we basically, with our platform, we calculate the nutritional values of restaurant, and we place this information on our mobile app so that users can access this data. But of course, what we want to do later on, in order to really personalize your meal experience, we need to have your current and previous health data, especially things that come from nutritionists and doctor. And we want to use the blockchain technology to really bring this to the on our platform in a really secure way that where we respect all privacy and all security, in order to really personalize your diet, but at the same time make sure that every party will only have access to the data that they need to have access to. Not so, for example, like the nutritionist doesn't need to have access to all your data that the doctors provide. They only probably need to have access to a specific, like, I don't know, maybe blood samples. So that's why we want to use the blockchain technology. But at this point, this technology is not there yet. But our basic technology is it's already operational in Brussels. So this is something that we want to add later on.
Okay, okay, thank you very much.
I have some question or a comment. I realize that you have it operating in Brussels, but I can imagine that most of the users are not older adults.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't seem that focusing on restaurants mainly. It is a common approach for providing all the nutrition for older adults. Not elderly, it's a different term. So how will you suit, or how do you think that it's possible to better serve the older adults with this? Because nutrition is in fact a problem and needs to be solved, but usually most of them will stay at home, so takeaway or delivery service will be better suited than usual than restaurants. So they are not looking for the restaurants nearby. Usually they will take most of their meals at home, and they will also order or use meals from home care services or daily care services. So how do you think you can integrate the information from multiple providers? Some of them will not generate any revenue for you.
Mm-hmm. So basically, what this data hub will do is like at a starting point, we want to use restaurants. But then what this data hub do, by getting data from the doctors, the nutritionists, and of course, like by having a database where we have our own recipes and so on, we're able to. So when you're at home, you're able to actually get a meal plan where you can cook it at home, or if you're outside, you can also order it from the restaurants. And of course, we want to like include municipalities who maybe they provide meals for elderlies, where we can also like include them into our database. So basically, the idea is that you open the app, whether you're at home or you're outside, you can use it to find the meal that is right for you. Or maybe you have to cook it at home, or maybe it is delivered to you, or maybe you can reach out to the restaurants. So that's like the idea of it.
Yeah,
it's not only for you to go outside.
Yeah, but that will change you a lot, the business model.
That
will change you a lot, the business model. If the municipality is providing the meals for free, for example, to an older person, then you won't have a fee from that.
So probably we'll have to add like maybe a third source of revenue that comes from municipalities and like let's say like these other platforms. So yeah, probably we will have to add another revenue stream to it.
Okay, thank you so much, Cyrus, and to our jury members for your presentation and questions. Now we move to Antonio Pellegrina and M5 Solutions. So Antonio, I know that you have a problem. There is a manifestation of taxis where you're at, but I hope that you are now in a quieter place and can do your presentation. Please feel free to start sharing when possible. Okay, so I'm guessing that Antonio is not with us. So Alex, if you don't mind presenting next.
Hello. Yes, so I will share my screen.
Thank you, Alex.
Here we go. And you can see my presentation slides.
Yes, we can, whenever you're ready.
Okay. Right, so I'm Alex. I'm an associate professor at the moment at Tallinn University of Technology. And I would present a system about self-sovereign multi-factor identity authentication using smart contract blockchain technology. So yeah, I have a table of contents, what we do, who we are, what is the problem, what is our target, what is our solution, how is it magic, and what do we offer. Okay, so I already said I'm at Taltech, and I'm busy with many things as an associate professor. I also have 4 children. I'm very happily looking after. And yeah, other guys on my team would be my PhD students. So there's Alex Komulsen, who I think is even in the call, doing PhD about e-healthcare on blockchains, actually matching very nicely with the Santander case. Then who should defend this year still, hopefully, about smart contracts. That's his focus. And then Chibuso Doku, his PhD manuscript is ready for defense about trusted inter-organizational collaboration using blockchain dApps, smart contract blockchain dApps. Okay, so what's the problem? I mean, MSEC is about IoT devices, many devices that form a system, produce data, and that data has to be secure, certainly in a healthcare setting. If only one of the devices or a human entering the picture, and that's not really secure, we get a problem. So I know in MSEC, you worked out these very nice security patterns, libraries, which could be challenges for our system to secure everything, the devices and the humans. So one authentication challenge is inflexible for this. For example, in Estonia, we have an ID card for all the e-governance systems, but now Tallinn wants to turn into a smart city. That doesn't work. So we have kind of a machine to everything economy, certainly in a smart city context popping up, and with many smart autonomous devices. For example, in Estonia already self-driving cars and robots that deliver your kebab. And so the machines and humans require multiple challenges that can be configured flexibly for trusted devices and humans participating in an M2X economy. So the data security is certainly sensitive in health. So multi-factor challenge sets that are contextually configurable would help there to secure the scenario. It's a bit like a castle might be very strong, but when only one part of the castle is down, then the entire castle wall is pointless and you can grab all the data. Yeah. So MSEC is very nice because it focuses so much also on the security aspect, and I can actually bring this into my Authcoin system. So what's the background there? Yeah, so I also appreciate very much the elderly case from Santander because it matches perfectly with what my PhD student is doing, and also what my already graduated PhD student has worked on. So for example, we can monitor blood pressure, combine real-time health data with electronic health records, and combine this with mobility. So if something is out of the norm, say, we can arrange subsidized taxi travel for elderly, for health treatment, and also for quick travel responses, emergency detected. We can also then basically have a rapid response with an integrated system. So how does it work? Basically, say either a device or human pose challenge requests to another human or a device, and then these challenges have to be met. And the challenge requests and responses are basically stored on chain and then evaluated. So we've all worked this out. This comes out of research, basically, out of conference journal papers and publications. So we designed fully and published fully this Authcoin protocol for this multi-challenge set and response management. Used colored patronets. I don't bother anyone here about this. So here's the evidence about conference papers and journal papers about the system, which has been part of this award-winning PhD thesis of my student Benjamin Leyding, who defended in Germany at the University of Göttingen and won the Klartext Awards. This is part of my ongoing PhD student research. So the case matches perfectly with our ongoing research by Alexander. And the idea is basically, I mean, what's the solution? So if you understand this multi-challenge set identity authentication, you already have the catalogs in MSEC. And we would basically use those to onboard novel devices and humans, guard them via the life cycle epoch changes, where fresh challenge sets have to be passed, emanate MSEC to make sure up to the, entire life cycle, up to the decommission point or humans exiting this open ecosystem, that everything is secure, because we can't afford the leaks, certainly not for sensitive data, say blood pressure, monitoring, and so on. So the parties involved, there could be an open marketplace of a machine to everything, M2X economy. We have the elderly, the municipality, of course, say taxi drivers who then offer mobility, could be integrated in the system. I mean, we have the futuristic self-driving car scenario coming out of Benjamin's M2X PhD, but I think that that goes too far for the Santander case. Health providers, maybe even insurance case companies, as in Alexander's PhD thesis, we integrate them, and the IoT providers. So the idea is with the MSEC security pattern library that those pose challenge sets that need to be passed by new devices or existing devices and humans for the entire life cycle guarding. Yeah, so I've pretty much said here already that we secured open IoT healthcare monitoring data to ensure a smart and fair integration between humans and helping machines into this so-called M2X economy for entry, exit, and the entire life cycle. And I find particularly this MSEC security pattern library for the challenge that's particularly helpful as input for the already existing systems. So I must also say I'm part of the NGI Explorers program. So I'm looking around. I found MSEC very nicely helpful. In that sense, I've already won. Whether I win here some award or not, it doesn't matter even so much, because for NGI Explorers, I have to set up a case, a running case, take it further. In the NGI Explorers program, I collaborate with the University of Central Florida. And well, we're trying to really secure the data, basically, that be very critical to manage in this healthcare scenario. We want to integrate with the MSEC security model. It's very helpful, certainly for NGI Explorers. And we already have a massive amount of accomplishments, also implementation in OKQtum, but with Solidity. And I'm also trying to apply for the NGI onto chain. So I see MSEC as part of the ecosystem to feed into whatever happens here, whether I win a award or not, into the NGI Explorers project that I have to do with University of Central Florida. That's all. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Alex. And now I open the floor to our jury members for any questions.
Yes.
It's not easy to make some questions, because this is more on the enabling side than on the concrete application for seniors. But I would
it's
like
kind of an infrastructure project, and as I said, I found the Santander case very appealing because of the G's with my current PhD student Alexander, who's also in the call. So yeah, wonderful. At least I have a case that I harvested, and again, I mean, the link to the slide. So about all the research results and so on. So the papers are out. It's all scholarly, peer-reviewed, and published, and defended. The one PhD thesis. Hopefully, Alex can follow suit there soon. And yeah, so I would be very happy to do this. I mean, it's really an infrastructure type of idea, that I would
I understand that, but can you elaborate a little bit more on how, especially older adults or older people, they are not so technology literate. So how do you think they will in fact use these may benefit from this infrastructure? Because I understand what is beneath this, okay, self-sovereign identity and so on, but how do you think it will be accessible and usable for older adults that sometimes are not even familiar with a smartphone?
Yep. That's absolutely a valid point. So I mean, the idea I would have on my mind for this in the end is to have kind of a background application that offers APIs for in the long run, then an integration, say, with an app, yeah, that should be tailored UX-wise towards needs of elderly. I mean, I know, for example, there are special phones with big buttons, so surely on the UX side, third parties can then jump on that, yeah. And also, of course, with the API, we would like to aim for an integration with the IoT devices in the picture. But the point is really about security and trust, yeah. So if an elderly wants to access basically an unconventional automated e-healthcare system, then the question is, how can they trust that? Yeah? So the point is, challenge sets can be adopted, yeah, that also they can pose, yeah, because there's flexible configurability, so that they develop trust in the system they engage with, because it's a multi-party system. Probably, unless they're very geeky elderly, they will not post challenges for the devices as such. But for example, if they integrate with healthcare providers or taxi drivers, yeah. So I don't know how the security situation is in Santander. Probably not too bad, but I mean, we have the Corona situation, yeah. Public transportation is maybe then not such a good idea. And then challenge sets could be worked out that, for example, let elderly develop trust in, say, a mobility provider, yeah. Also trust in an insurance provider, or trust in a hospital, and vice versa, yeah. There's a lot of flexibility with respect to how to work out those challenge sets. Not just in a pure machine-oriented way, yeah, for that, but that's then more the social science parts down the road, I would say, to explore what challenge sets would matter to elderly to integrate. Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Alex. Now it's time for a short break.
Thank you so much.
5-minute break for everyone to grab a cup of coffee, and then come back as we move forward with the other teams for the Santander Challenge. Thank you so much. See you in 5 minutes. Right, so 5 minutes pass very fast, and now it's time to give the floor to 4 more teams for the, sorry, I was of course not on the right slide. So now it's time to give the floor to 3 more teams, still for the Santander Challenge. So these are Self-Bar, and with us we have Sebastian Pirlet. So I know that he's having small IT problems. So let's hope he manages to have audio. Sebastian Pirlet is the co-founder of Self-Bar. And then we have Team Super Cute, which is a team of students from Waseda University, and their representative Yichen Ding is going to speak. And then we have Zaxol Ventures, represented by Boniface Aniacho, which is CEO of Zaxol Ventures. Sebastian, can you...
Can you hear me?
Yes, is it you, yes. Sebastian?
Okay, hopefully it can stay like this. Thank you.
Great, so you have the floor, Sebastian.
Oh, really? It is me already? Goodness.
Yes.
Okay, that's so quick. So
you have the floor, so I will stop sharing and feel free to share your screen and start your presentation when you're ready.
Okay, so let me work this out. Can you see my screen?
Not yet.
Not yet. You don't see my screen?
Not yet. It says click twice to enter full mode. Now we can see it.
You can see my screen, okay?
Yes.
So I will go on the presentation mode. Okay, fantastic. So, hello everyone. Hola, minasan konnichiwa. I am Sebastian. I'm here to present the Self-Bar project. And with the Self-Bar project, we would like to help elderly people going out and enjoy life outside of their home. So we aim at presenting a revolution on the way for the elderly citizens and for the drink industry. Alors, we realize that older people have problems when they go out. It's tough for them because sometimes they have long waiting times in restaurants and bars. They have difficulty to handle the cash. The servings are too big and they would rather decide for themselves when to drink and how much to drink. Finally, they're scared of COVID. And so they don't want to go out because of this. So our solution is trying to solve all those problems. More at large, we also help the beverage industry because we help bars and pubs to save on beverages wastes. We help distributors getting paid. There's a lot of gray and black market here. And we help drink machine manufacturers get paid for maintenance. So we solve all those problems. How do we do it? We do it with our devices that you can see here. This is our newest model of tables. Of course, the design can be adapted. The tables are cashless. People pay with a card. They are self-service, so people help themselves when they want, as much as they want. It's in bulk, so no extra unneeded packages. And then it's COVID-free because inside of the table, we have a UV filter that cleans the air of all viruses. So let me show you rapidly a very quick video. It's only 40 seconds of what our video looks like. Alors, I need 1 second. Yeah, it's here. So I am going back on my presentation. If I manage to find it again, here it is, yes. So, okay. So our innovation is cashless. We propose a self-service. We use digital apps and all the actors of the drink industry get paid in real time. May it be restaurants, beer distributors, machines, maintenance companies. And we believe we have a strong business model because all the actors benefit from our solution. Consumers enjoy a new self-indulging experience. Pump manufacturers get paid directly by Self-Bar because we buy the tables ourselves. Bars and restaurants save on waste because they get paid by consumers. And then drink distributors get paid directly in real time as the drinks are poured. Okay. In order to work, our solution uses lots of modern technologies. We use blockchain for system security and payment security, IA for preventive maintenance, IoT to follow up the beer temperature, the beer pressure, the level of beverages inside of the beverage tank, and big data, as we use we collect all data, anonymize it, and then we want to propose it to drink distributors to see how the machines are being used. This is why we were so interested in entering this MSEC contest, because we know you help secure all those parameters. And then even though we have our own solutions, we'd like to compare them with what you propose and eventually it might use some of your security applications so as to make our solution even more secure. Alors, this goes for the application layer, of course, or app. It goes also for it also goes for payments. That's super important. And finally, it's also important for us to secure our IoT, making sure that they don't get interfered with. Okay, that's our go-to-market. We started our business through an ICO. We managed to get funded for about €500,000. So with that, we aim to go after the biggest beer countries in the world, including Spain and Japan, of course. And we hope to have 1,000 machines by 2023. We hope we have a strong business model Canva because we, as I said before, we benefit to all the actors of the drink industry and to all the elderly people. All the money that we are making gets directly reinvested into the business, buying new machines. So we have strong partners. Here we work with the biggest French machines manufacturer for Abbey InBev, Heineken, Carlsberg. And then we think we will succeed because we're working on a worldwide industry, a worldwide market, so very huge potential. And we use lots of high-tech devices, making us ahead of any type of competition. So here we are ready to and excited about the possibility to enter Spain and to start working in Santander, helping older generations enjoy good times outside of their home. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sebastian. And now I give the floor to our jury members for any questions to Sebastian.
I forgot to say, when I said thank you, I wanted to say gracias also, and minasan domo arigatou gozaimashita.
Thank you, Sebastian. If there are no questions from Akira, Pedro, or Jose, no? So I think that everything was...
Yes,
Akira?
I have a question.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you for your presentation. Very interesting. I have a question about the IoT sensors.
Yes.
I think in your slide, I can find the temperature and something pressure sensor.
Yes.
Are using. How about CO2 sensor for ventilation sensing in COVID-19 environment?
It's a UV filter. It's a UV light, and all the there's a pump that sucks in all the air, cleans it, and then spray it again around the table.
So you don't use a CO2 sensor?
No,
right?
No, we do not.
In Japan, I'm trying to install the CO2 sensor for sensing about ventilation.
Okay.
In order to prevent infection of the COVID-19.
Yes.
Is it not deployed in Santander? Not popular?
In Santander, I do not know because I am in Belgium, but I hear that.
Okay. Sorry.
I hear that in France, at least, it is a machine that they will put in classes, the CO2 sensors in the classrooms. So it could be some sort of an extra sensor that we could be adding to our table, certainly, if we see that it is relevant. And this is, if it brings an extra level of security, then we would like to do that, of course, yes.
Okay. Just I feel your self-bar concept itself is okay. And I think it's better integrated other IoT sensing or other solution. This is my comment. Thank you.
Thank you for the recommendation. And then I will take it into account, certainly. Thank you.
Thank you.
So thank you so much, Sebastian and Akira, for your comments. And now we move on to the next presentation from Team Super Cute. So Yichen Ding, thank you so much for being here with us today, and feel free to start presenting whenever you're ready.
Yeah, thank you. So let me show my screen. Good morning, everyone. We are Team Supercute, and I'm Yichen Ding. Today, I'm going to introduce our smart devices called HyperGate, which is specially designed for the aging people to help them have a better life and get closer to the society. And here is the outlines of our presentation today: the problems, our approach, which is the HyperGate, and the implementation, and finally our links to MSEC. So firstly, we're going to talk about the problems. So aging people could face a range of problems nowadays, which lead to lack of social activities and physical exercises. So firstly, they may be suffering low mobility due to health issues. And secondly, they may be living alone, where it's far away from their family members and friends. And finally, due to the coronavirus epidemic, it could be risky for the Asian people to travel around, and since the infection can be fatal, especially to them to some extent. So in order to help them, this group of people connect to the outside world and be cared better, we here propose our specially designed smart devices called HyperGate. And our devices is designed with large screen and which is easy to read, and voice control is also included for easy usage. And finally, vocal feedback to the user, which help them understand the situation easily and like a housekeeper. And the device hears from the users and give feedback accordingly every time. And from the picture in the left down corner, we can see the size of the device is expected to be quite large. And with this device, we hope to help aging people to make following three connections control. Firstly, the connection with families and friends, which give them immersive experience of communication with friends and family members, like face-to-face, so that they can chat and share their experience and the story with others. And secondly, the connection with the community. So by using the video technologies, which help doctors better understand and their health conditions of the aging people, physically and mentally. And it is also possible to guide them with the indoor activities like cooking lessons or exercise to make their body stronger. And finally, the connection to the outside world. So the device looks like a window, which provide them a chance to have a view of landscape and festivals, like the Spanish Tomato Festival, where they cannot be able to reach there or attend the festival themselves. And these contents are all expected to be live broadcast, because we believe that this can bring more expectations and excite to the Asian people. And the fourth side is the implementation. So the key partner we expect that can support us is the scenario live broadcast providers and the online content providers, and also the Asian People Care Center, as well as the associations of local residents, and finally the device producers and also the platform company which provide such platform for live broadcast. And the cost of our project will be the development of software, and the production of devices may cost the most in our project. And finally, the payment to live broadcast providers so that they can keep their work for a long time. And finally, the income in order to keep going. So firstly, it's the device selling, and secondly, it's the warranty insurance. And also we will do advertisement push to the end. And finally, the service subscription fee for the live broadcast contents. And the link to MSEC of our projects will be the privacy and data security. Firstly, we will use the genomizer to delete the images of passerby who appeared in the live broadcast to protect their privacies. And secondly, we will use Quorum blockchain's middleware to preserve the security of data generated during the chatting and the interaction with other devices. And finally, the crypto companion database, which can help us safely store usage records, call records, and password generated by voice prints and fingerprints in this case. And finally, the records can be accessed by relevant medical staff and used to understand the health conditions of the users. And here's the team members of our team, with Yichen Ding, which is me, and Jialong Li, and also Bo Hui Wang. We are all from Waseda University in Tokyo. And this is all of our presentation for today. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Yichen, for the wonderful presentation. So now I give the floor to our jury members if you have any questions for Yichen and Team Super Cute.
I have one question. How much do you expect your device to cost?
So we have to do a little research in the Chinese factory. So for device itself, the chips and the CPU things may cost like 120 euros, and the spring itself may cost 150 euros for production. So this is the basic cost for the devices each.
Okay, and do you expect to sell it for how much to your customers?
So we will do like internet push and pop-up advertisements on television, and also telephone referrals. So that's the ways we expect it to be. We expect to reach our customers.
Okay, perhaps a final question from our jury members. Okay, I think that everything was clear. Thank you so much, Yichen, and Super Cute, and best of luck. And now for our final team for the Santander Challenge, although I am not sure if Boniface is here, but it's Zaxol Ventures. presenting, and the representative is Boniface. Boniface, are you here in call? The time has come for you to present your business idea. So one final call for Boniface. Right, so I don't think that Boniface is here in the call. So perhaps he decided not to join us last minute. So this means that all teams for the Santander Smart City Challenge have presented. Thank you so much to all these teams. And now we can have a longer break than the first one and then the one we were expecting for now. And we will get back at 11:50. I was looking at Portuguese time. So 11:50 Central Europe time. Please be here a couple of minutes before the Fujisawa teams so that we can start on schedule at 11:50 Central Europe time. And meanwhile, I kindly ask the Santander City Challenge juries to put your evaluations on the Excel sheet so that we have everything ready then for the consensus meeting. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful break. Stretch a little bit your legs, grab a cup of coffee, and see you in more or less 20 minutes. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our public pitch presentation for the MSEC online contest. And now, as we finalized the teams presenting to the Santander Challenge, we now meet and greet the teams who are running for the Fujisawa Challenge. So these are our 4 teams. We will start with Common, with their representative, co-founder and CEO, Aîné Boussac. Then we go to Christophe Parot, team leader at Ventureo. Then we greet Alexandru Pane, CEO of AI Professional Software Solutions. And we finalize the pitch presentation with a lady, Emergeta, sorry, because this is Emergeta Kandri, founder of City Smartways. So thank you so much to these 4 teams who have made it until the end of our online contest and are running for the Fujisawa Challenge. Now I give the floor to Aîné. I hope that you are already in the call, Aîné, and I will stop sharing my screen and you can share and start your presentation whenever you're ready.
So hello, everyone. Thank you, Nadine. I'm here. I'm in the call.
Hello.
So I'm Aîné. I'm representing Common today. So here we go. Today, I will talk to you about the environment for a change, and of course about Common. So Common is a green loyalty system, a new generation loyalty system in which we measure, reward, acknowledge, and certify the eco-friendliness of individuals for organizations by using a loyalty point, which we call the green coin, and which stands for 1 kilogram of non-emitted CO2. So it's a reward for not emitting 1 kilogram of CO2. So our main job is to measure by using different technologies that you can see here. Then we reward. So we reward people for the amount of CO2 that they do not emit. So if you do not, for example, you use your bicycle instead of a car in a city that you do not emit 125 grams of CO2 per kilometer, and then you get 0.125 green coin per kilometer. Then we also use gamification to make Common more appealing, so you can compete as an individual, or you can see on the right as a team. And since we measure systematically and count, then we can also report and certify the results of our customers. And our customers can use the reports that we emit for official purposes or tax purposes or PR purposes or even recruitment purposes. So I saw on your website of MSEC that you developed a use case around garbage collection where you equipped garbage collection trucks with data sensors and cameras to monitor automatically the road condition in the city of Fujisawa. So I found that very interesting because trash is also part, of course, of our carbon footprint. And the proposition that I'm making to you is to equip also the trucks with scales and to ensure that we associate a garbage bin with their owner. So if we say that, so these are fantasy figures, so just for explaining the example, if we say that in Japan, someone throws away on average 2.6 kilograms of trash per week, and that 1 kilogram of trash causes the emission of 635 grams of CO2, then if someone is above the average, then nothing happens because we are not a government, so we cannot tax or punish people. But since you are a public administration, you can think about it. But if someone is below the average, then we reward this person with the green coin, with the principle of what if you are 1 kilogram below the average, then you get 0.635 green coin. So in this example, the Miss Nakazawa is 900 grams below the average, and she gets a little bit more than half a green coin. So my advice to get most of the system is just to use the garbage bin of your neighbor to get the maximum rewards. So in this example, we will make use of lots of the features of the MSEC platform. So first and foremost, we will use the secure mobile sensing platform to manage the sensors, so the scales and the data coming from them. The green coin would be a ERC-223 token, just like the MSEC token. We would use the crypto companion database to manage the users and the associated wallets and garbage bins. The users would register by using the KYC process, which is already a part of the platform. In the web application, you would publish and manage offers so that the users can spend their green coins. And the marketplace would be the place where users can see the offers and spend their green coins. So to represent it a little bit differently, on your architecture, on the upper left, you would have the different kinds of common we call modules, so where we measure different kinds of activities. So the retail for everything you can buy in a store or supermarket, the home for the energy that you use and the water and the garbage, and the transportation, obviously. Data would be secured with a high level of privacy and security on the smart city platform. We would use the IoT gateways to enable IoT devices to plug into command to provide us with data, and we would compensate these devices with also tokens. Common is the interface we are currently developing, so the interface between this system and humans. And on the upper right, you can see an example of the marketplace. So basically, we're trying to develop a contra Bitcoin model because instead of asking participants to consume energy to get rewards, we ask participants to spare CO2 to get rewards from the system. So our job is to measure more and more activities over time to perform at the end a 360-degree eco-friendliness assessment of users. So this is us. On the left, we have 2 business developers. On the right, 2 technical developers. That's the business canvas. But now it's time for questions. Thank you.
Thank you so much, René. Yes, the floor is open for questions from our Fujisawa jury members.
Okay, hello. So can I ask one question?
Of course, Kenji.
Okay, so thank you for your presentation. It's very interesting ideas. So in case of the garbage collections, so the system needed to identify the owner of the given garbage.
Oh yeah.
So how does the system identify the relations?
I think trash is so important that you have to make the garbage bin something very valuable, actually. I know it's crazy to talk about it, but here where I live in Germany, every garbage bin is inside a place which is locked with a key. You cannot just, as I was making the joke before, that you use the garbage bin or your neighbor. It's not even possible in Germany. It's a very important garbage because if we want to win our fight against climate change, at some point we will have to count garbage. So my idea, to answer your question, Kenji, would be to really make garbage a secure object and to make it to put it in a place where it's difficult to access or impossible to access if you don't have a key. And you can also identify it with a barcode or a RFID chipset, so that you're sure that garbage belongs to you or and not to your neighbor. But that, to me, it's important. But in more general way, identifying things will be more and more important. Identifying persons, administrations, vehicles, garbage bins will be more and more important if we want to allocate and to manage climate change in a more efficient way than today.
Yeah, so it's nice to think about the how you localize the kind of the garbage collection system. So in Japan, in many cases, the garbage is put on the road in front of their house. So
yeah,
yeah, it can tend to be open. So it's nice to how do you so yeah to localize the system itself. But yeah, it's very nice idea. That is my comment.
An additional idea is that in Germany, you only pay for the general garbage. Everything, all the recycled garbage, you don't pay for it. You just pay for the other one. So people are already incentivized to recycle because then they use less the general garbage.
Thank you so much, Ene, and our jury members. And now we move forward to Ventureo.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Ene. Christoph, if you are with us, you can start sharing and presenting.
Okay. Good evening, everybody.
Hello, Christoph.
Can you see my screen?
Not yet.
Is it okay?
Not yet.
Not yet.
No. Now we can see it. Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to present the Ventureo solution. We are going to speak about road repair problems to be solved, what our solutions could bring to the maintenance systems, inclusion of MSEC security components, advantages for the maintenance service and citizens of Fujisawa. I'm going to present the team and our needs. So today, people are calling to notify road repairs needs, and problems are listed in a spreadsheet. So how can we improve this process with blockchain tools? We are proposing to use two blockchains apps, so people can take a picture with their mobile when they meet a problem on the road and post it on the Hive blockchain with a precise localization. Then all the posts will be ranked and by the people in another app called public domain. And we need to use MSEC tools to identify the authors. So the Fujisawa city do not reward someone which is not from the city. So the two components that we are using is identity and the reputation of participants. and anonymization of pictures. The advantage for the Fujisawa maintenance service are that the damages are precisely described, the localizations are clearly identified, and damage are notified rapidly by citizens. Also, with the Telos blockchain app, citizens will be able to sort by urgency the list of damage on the road. And citizens will be rewarded for participating to this work. And what is nice with the Hive blockchain is that you don't have to spend your money to reward people, but you have to stake token, and people are paid with the return of the stake. So here is a screenshot of the page which has been built on the public domain for the Fujisawa road repairs. I have listed 3 tests already, and you can see that my 2 colleagues have accepted the test 3 situation as the most urgent. Yes, it's very urgent, and the ID of the car has been anonymized, so people cannot know who is the owner. And we have used the what's reward system to precisely identify the location. So we are using different tools. People are not used to use blockchain tools. And Ventureo is proposing training solutions to help people to create their account and to send transactions to the blockchain. Our team is composed by with Roger, with a block producer on Telos. Daniel is an electronic engineer in Venezuela, and he can train people in Spanish or in English. And I'm the project manager of the project, and I can train people in French or in English. The software development costs are paid by block production of Telos UK, but people need training to learn how to use those tools, and we are selling training sessions. Of course, we will be delighted if the Fujisawa city will be our first customer. So how do we can evaluate this proposal? We use blockchain to reward citizens on a new indexing app. Smart city economy will benefit from the use of blockchain tools, and it's a good use case for people to learn how to use this tool. With the Hive on Telos blockchain, the project is scalable to all cities in the world, and we are using 2 MSEC components. So thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you so much, Christoph. And now it's time for 1 or 2 questions from our jury members.
I have one. Christoph, your approach is to help by training the users. What do you think about doing a more friendly and appealing user experience to the user? Because most of them probably don't need to know what is a blockchain at all.
Yes, of course, today there is a great mobile app on the Hive blockchain, which is called Essency. And you can take a picture from your mobile and post it on the Hive blockchain from your mobile and get reward on your mobile.
But that is so public that it cannot be identified or easily identified with the city itself. So probably for the city administration would be helpful to integrate this concept in a kind of a city app or similar thing.
Yes.
Don't you consider that approach?
Yes, the city have to create a community on the Hive blockchain. It's a feature of the Hive blockchain. You can create community, so you can verify identity of people who will register with this community. Only people inside this community will be rewarded.
Okay, thank you so much, Christoph and Pedro. And now we move forward to another presentation from AI Professional Software Solutions and Alexandro.
Thank you.
Good morning,
Hello,
Alexandro.
everyone. Good morning. Nice to meet you all. Okay, I'm going to share my screen. Just a second to be sure. This one should.
Yes, we can see it. You are muted, Alexandro. If you continue to be muted. Yes.
Now it should work.
I think Alexandro is having some technical problems. We will wait a couple of seconds, don't worry. Okay, I think he's going to reconnect. Alexandro, are you here?
Yeah, now I think it's working.
Okay, at least we can already hear you.
Okay, okay. Sorry for the situation. It looks like
Yes, and now you are muted.
When you share your screen, you mute yourself.
Alexandro, perhaps my...
it's working. I'm trying to share the entire screen. Maybe.
Okay.
So yeah, now it's working.
Okay,
When I'm sharing.
now I can see myself full screen, and now we see yours.
Okay, perfect. Sorry for this situation. I didn't know that sharing a Chrome tab has issues. But now we all learned something new today.
Indeed.
Okay.
Yes, you have the floor.
Good, thank you. So the question is that we can bring the road administration to the 21st century. Yes, we can, but the question is how we can do this. First of all, we need to identify what is the problem and to know how to solve all these problems that appear when we are talking about solving the road problem administration. So we don't have only one major problem. There are many more which are related to the bureaucracy and lack of transparency for the process. The municipality has a lot of papers to manage, and the procedures are really inefficient to manage all those papers, at least in Romania. I don't know in Japan. Another problem is lack of human resources, because there are a lot of citizens with their requests and not many public servants. And another issue I've seen in the public administration for Romania, it's the cybersecurity, the lack of cybersecurity. When we are talking about cybersecurity, if we are trying to create strong security for many applications, we don't have enough resources, and it's better to have a centralized way to secure all of the applications. And here is how MSEC project can help the public administration. Our solution is to create digital standards for the documents, for the procedures, and all the digital interconnections with other institutions. How we are going to fix all the issues from the current system? For the bureaucracy, we are going to move classical procedures to digital ones, and things are going to be more efficient or fully automatized. And lack of transparency will gonna disappear from the public administration, and can also give to the citizens real-time access to their status requests. When we are talking about papers, physical documents will be replaced by digital documents, and this will make them easier to manage, more safer, and will dilute the inefficiency of the public administration. And regarding the human resources, deficit will disappear when we are going to move all the data from the documents to digital data. And I will show you into the next slide how. The technology behind our application is going to collect data instead documents, and we are going to use all those data by creating metadata for each input that the citizen is going to fulfill in order to use those data structures efficient in blockchain technologies and different high-tech technologies like IoT or others. The market size from Japan, it's this, and it's a huge market for our application. We have a business model where we are thinking to take $2 per month for each citizen account. The institution will gonna to pay this. For the whole market from Japan, this will mean like $2.4 million monthly. Here are some screenshots from our proof of concept from Romania, from our application. The citizen is submitting a form regarding any kind of request from the municipality, even reporting on the road some issues. The operator or the system is solving the request in the registry, into the digital registry, and then the system is going to notify the citizen. We already have our business going on. The application is working. 3 municipalities from our country is using the application. More are willing to use our application when the government will finish the digital signatures legislation. And we are also working for more than 500 municipalities in Romania as a proxy, and we are sending on their emails or all the requests completed by the citizens. Here is our timeline, what we are planning to do next. In the next 3 months, I'm also going to the United States for researching blockchain, digital governmental blockchain for deliberating this democracy by its issues. And this is what we are going to do in the future. And we are not just talking about ideas, we are talking about facts. The whole press from Romania is talking about us. Even Forbes wrote about how our app digitalized all the town halls from Romania. Even the government said collaborated really well with us by seeing some issues into the national security system. And that's all. I'm waiting for the questions.
Thank you so much, Alexandro. Wonderful presentation. And now I open the floor to any questions from our jury members.
Hi, everyone. Maybe I missed, but what about links with the MSEC project?
Yeah, regarding the link with the MSEC project, it's on the security. We can move all the data because all the data are digital data. We can move through the MSEC project security. At this moment, I didn't research it really well this, but I'm sure having all the data in data structures, we can link easily with the MSEC project, because we are talking about migrating some data in a secure way. Can you hear me?
Sorry, now I was the one muted. Thank you so much, Alexandro. And thank you to Pedro for the question. And now I think that we move forward to the final presentation of this online contest. So I kindly ask Emergeta, yes, you are already here. And please, the floor is yours, so you can start sharing and presenting whenever you're ready.
Thank you very much, Nadine, and hello to everyone. Let me try and share the screen. I think, can you see?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, great news. All right, so this is Emirieta again, and I'm here to talk about City Smart Waste, cleaner and faster, better way for healthy cities. The problems we are tackling today are the inefficiency in urban waste management, which is also creating high costs and pollution as well. The traditional way of doing this is really inefficient. They're sending trucks to collect waste, be the bin loaded or not. But we are doing more with less. Through technology, we provide a more efficient way to manage waste life cycle while caring for the city well-being and reducing costs with more than 30%. But the question is, how do we do this? The installation of an in-house built sensor will provide real-time information about the bin situation, so whether it's loaded or not. This information will be received by the platform, which through an algorithm will create the most efficient route for the trucks, finding the best route depending on the bin location, traffic, and proper timing. Cleaner city trends and lower costs are possible with our product. Our product is divided in two main parts. The first is the in-house built sensor, which is capable of reading with 90% accuracy the fullness of the bin. The other part is our web management platform, which will enable what you are now seeing on the screen is a very high-level view of the process and technical side of it. As you can see, the information is received by the sensor, sent to the platform, and then processed for use by the waste collector and the management company. So what is the market potential for our product, really? Talking for the business side of it. As cleaner city trends increase, so does the demand for products increase. Our service obtainable market, which is Western Balkans for now, has a market value of $15 million. Our main targets are municipalities, private waste collection agencies, and environmental organizations. We are very proud to say, actually, that we are the first company to automate waste in Western Balkans. And our main competitors are in the EU region. And I did read the Case 3 project through your MSEC web page as well. But talking about business, we are surely interested in knowing how does a business plan work. And that is through software as a service model, yearly subscription, and maintenance and custom upgrades. And I would like to just go over the boring but the very important part regarding financial projections. We expect to break even in the second part of operating in the market, be that with municipalities or private waste collection companies. These are the numbers. we strongly believe that we have some competitive advantages compared to our competitors, which are very decent, put it that way. We have identified these four main advantages, which are efficiency, route optimization, and eliminating overflowing bins and adjusting bin capacity. I'd like to tell you a bit about our journey, just to make it feel more closer to you. We started by the end of 2020, actually, by identifying the problem, the issue that waste collecting agencies face, and as a citizens, to be honest. And then we started developing this idea. By the end of this year, we aim to have a prototype ready and therefore the raise after around 30,000 euros to fully develop our product. But we are confident to say that we think we will cover Tirana by the end of 2023 and continue expansion in the country by 2024. By so going and diversifying our range of services by 2025. But we, who are we? We are the core team, Clancy Mehmeti, Albi Sarachi and I are very passionate and contemplate each other. I'm a business developer and I have more than 5 years experience in business development. Albi Sarachi is a tech enthusiast with 7 years experience in project management, while Clancy is a passionate software developer who has given his very valuable input in this development. And our main supporters have been EU for Tech, Officina, GIZ and TNW GrowthCamp, which suggested this contest as well, and Gary Abrazi, which has provided us with technological services. That's it from us today. You are more than welcome to join us and be part in this new era of waste management, and feel free to ask any questions and contact us if you like to.
Thank you so much, Amigeta, for your presentation. I open the floor for the final questions from our jury members.
I have the same that to you that I made to your colleague before. How do you envision to integrate this with MSEC?
And I have the same answer as well regarding data protection. That will be our relation to the MSEC framework.
Okay, so if there are no further questions, I now finalize this speech presentation. I would like to thank you so much to all of our teams that made it throughout the way for this very long week for our online contest. Thank you so much for taking the time, learning about MSEC, how it would make sense for your solutions. And thank you so much for being here today, presenting them. Me and the jury members will now go to a different meeting, just to make sure that we are all in the same page regarding the evaluations. So we end a little bit 5 minutes before time, but we will get back at 12:50 p.m. Central Europe time. So more or less in 20 minutes, we will be here and I will announce the final, not the final, but the top 3 winners per city challenge. So the 6 solutions that will have the opportunity to meet our city council representatives and also have further mentoring to refine your business ideas. Thank you so much, everyone. Please go and grab a cup of coffee, stretch your legs, walk your dog. So 20 minutes, perhaps it's enough for that. And I'll see you in a couple of minutes. So at 12:50 p.m. Central Europe time. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our MSEC online contest pitch presentation. So the final event of this very long week of hard work. Thank you so much for waiting for the jury to have its final meeting and decide on the top 3 winners for each contest. And I don't want time from you. So I think that we will jump right into the top 3 winners per challenge. But before, just a reminder how we are going to support these 6 teams who will continue to be with us within MSEC. So each 3 teams for the Santander and Fujisawa challenge will be further supported to mature and refine their ideas. So there's still a long way to go, so that you can concretely address the needs of the Santander or the Fujisawa cities with your solutions, and think a little bit further on how to integrate the MSEC solution within your software or hardware solutions. So this is what we are going to award to you. So it's 5 hours, let's say, of mentoring with your assigned MSEC mentors. So you will have some extra time to discuss with them some things that you were not able to discuss during this week, and they will help you to refine your pitch presentation for the Fujisawa or Santander City Council representatives. And then, of course, you will have the possibility to meet the City Council representatives. For sure, it will be online because COVID-19 is still part of our modern world, but you will have the possibility to meet with the City Council representatives and again showcase your idea. This time clearly it will be more refined, straight to the point regarding these issues. So the particular challenges of the city and the integration of the MSEC solution. And of course, we will give visibility to you, to your team, to your solution through our MSEC channels. But apart from the prizes, I do hope that all of you learned from this experience, learned from our MSEC mentors. These are experts in the topic, so please feel free to always reach out to me or to them, the ones who can better support you with technicalities. If you ever need any counsel, any guidance, or any partnership in the future. And here are the top 3 teams that were selected for the Santander Challenge. So drum rolls for all of you. And this is not in order, so it was randomly assigned, the slides here in the PowerPoint. So congratulations, Rudy team. You were one of the winners. Congratulations. Congratulations also to Endima team for the Santander Challenge. Good work. And also to Team Super Cute. So congratulations, our college students from Waseda University in Japan. And now going to the Fujisawa Challenge. Here are our top 3 teams. Congratulations, Common Team, Ventureo team, and also City Smart Waste. So some of you already have a glass half full. So congratulations to all our winners, but also to the other teams. Like I said, I do hope that participating in this contest and getting to know all our researchers and all our technicians provided some added value for you, for your solutions, for your ideas. And I only have to wish you all the best of luck with your amazing journeys. And thank you so much for taking your time, for hearing me. And yes, and have a wonderful weekend, all of you.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Thank you.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye-bye. Thank you so much.
Thank you.